Going on, everybody, and welcome back to another broadcast of your Ramona Rams. Here taking on Mission Viejo. A pretty big game, I would say, in a divisional game, in a game that they want to win and continue their win streak as they have after a big win last week against the Owasso Rams. What do you got to say, Wick?
Yeah, so Ramona's had a great start to this year. Their defense, as always, standing tall. And the last week's win against the Owasso Rams, 23-20, a big win there for Ramona. While on the other hand, Aiden Holiday and Mission Viejo have had a rough beginning to their year, going 1-4 to start, coming off a loss to Mater Dei. They're hoping to get back in the win column here today.
Yeah, and Aiden Holiday actually, after that game, won Player of the Week. Pretty interesting. What was the stats there from that game?
Stats there from the game. He went 26 for 35 on the passing, 331 pass yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and took 3 sacks, earning himself the right to Player of the Week.
Yeah, it's pretty big stats, and you got to hope that Kyron Jones can come out here and truly outplay him tonight, and he's got to show up big. So we're going to start off here with Mission Viejo and Aiden Holiday taking the field. And we'll see what this Ramona defense is looking like. What's some of the key players we have on this defense?
One key player to watch for today, I'd have to say Carter Hart. He's been all over the field, the young freshman. He's been tearing it up. He's got 5.5 sacks on the year, an interception, and a forced fumble. Keep an eye out for him here today.
Okay, and here's Mission Viejo looking. Big pass. Okay, and it's a first down and more as they get it down to the 48-yard line. And, you know, when you're the Rams defense, you can't give things up like that easily.
Yeah, especially against this passing attack. Despite the 1-4 record, Aiden Holiday has been tearing it up this year. 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns with only 1 interception. He's been having an MVP caliber year.
Big sack from you, Suck. And, I mean, as we've already said, 6 sacks on the year?
Yeah, that'll be number 7 for you, Suck. A great start to his year, and he's hoping to continue that down the stretch.
Here's Mission Viejo run. And they get up to, that's a 6-yard run. It's 3rd and 5. Now, this is usually where Ramona usually starts to kick off here. Really big on making sure that they stop 3rd down conversions as they did in their huge win against San Marcos SM. And a huge sack there, and who it is, Carter Hart and Mr. Davian Dello. Big play.
This Ramona defense, every game this season, has shown up in big moments, and this is a key drive stop on the first drive of the game. Ramona looking to capitalize on this stop.
And here goes the punt. Now we get to see this Ramona offense, obviously led by a very young and promising up-and-coming QB in Kyron Jones, who's really lit it up. Honestly, a great start for Jones, as he has 1,186 yards, 71% completion rating, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and the 105 QB rating. I mean, it tells it all. And he's got some weapons. What does he have out there on the field?
Well, he's got obviously his main target out here in Ryan Williams. 4 touchdowns on the season. They're looking for some bigger games out of him. He's been very hit or miss. He's had a couple games where he's dropped some key passes and other games where he completely is exposing the other team's defense. We're going to have to wait and see here with Ryan Williams going to get there.
And as we see a huge run there by Anton Bowe, who they got to get started. You know, he's had his up and downs this season. Obviously, Bowe is a very key part to this run-heavy offense that they have, and it's very crucial to start off with a run like that because it can set up that big play action as we get a jump off sides. Like I said before, the big play action that we can get from Kyron Jones, we know he can throw the ball really deep, and he can throw it with the best of them. But obviously, you have to get the run game started, or else no one's really going to, respect that in the offensive game.
Automatic first down.
And I think that is false start, so it's going to be an automatic first down, which is big for Ramona. Ramona, I mean, they usually struggle. I feel like this offense definitely struggles at the beginning of games. They obviously get started up later on, and here goes the play action. A big throw there to Keon Davis for an 8-yard gain. Big play. Keon Davis, third string wide receiver. I mean, not the biggest of moments, but he has shown up in big games, especially over the course of the season. What do you think about Keon?
Yeah, Keon Davis, even though his stats may not show it, he's come up with huge catches in critical moments in every game he's been in. he's a reliable guy that Kyron Drones has looked to all year, especially on 3rd and short, just to pick up that short yardage and be the first down.
Absolutely, and that's what you need. As he tried to jet sweep there to Ryan Williams himself, I think this time we're going to see a run as we do to Bo. Bo's going to go through the tackles, and he's going to get a first down. And Ramona's at the 45-yard line. And like I said, Bo's just got to get it started. Bo's got to get this offense started. He's got to get him kicked off because after he gets started, everybody else gets started. Obviously, I think this offense doesn't go anywhere without a running back, as any true offense in the NFL does, or I'm sorry, in high school does in general. You need someone that can really run the ball, and they have that in Bo, and they just need to unlock it. There's a big throw there from Drones to Williams for 9 yards, and we're at 2nd and 1. Here we go. Bo here gets the first and then some, and look, there we go. It's like I said, Bo, 3 rushes for 25 already on the day. He's showing up and truly showing why he deserves to be not only a highly coveted player for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but also just a future dynamic threat for this league. Oh, again, and we're just going to continue hammering the run. 3 yards there from him. It's a big play, big play. What do you think as far as this team and this Ramona team, their aspirations? Obviously, we've seen a lot of talk of they want to win the chip. They've came in, they have a lot of new freshmen, QB, wide receivers. Obviously, the defense is a whole new core. Coming from a team that was just the 1 seed and losing in the playoffs, and then now an all-freshman team, there's not really a lot of high expectations for a chip, but there's talks of it. What do you think their ceiling is for this team?
Honestly, I can see this team making a deep playoff run, and before the season, I'm not sure anyone would have agreed with me there, but there were a lot of doubts. The whole roster refreshed, and they've beaten some good teams. They lose to the 2-time defending champ Cedar Creek 14-3, and they looked good in that game. Just the offense couldn't get it going. The defense let up some big plays in critical moments. But this Ramona team has the ability to go far this year, and I would not be surprised to see them reclaim this division.
Yeah, I believe one of the biggest threats, obviously, is going to be modern day. Not to say Mission Viejo or I forget what's in this division, but not to say they're pushovers, but I believe that just one of the biggest challenges they got to get past modern day. And I think right now, they're truly just taking the games that they're given and winning the games. And as we look at the passing stats leaders, obviously we see Aiden Holiday right there, 2nd on the board with his 1,652 yards. And here we go, Viejo back on offense. Big catch. Okay, and that's only 5 yards there. And I think that's one of the best things about this defense. They do a really good job of neutralizing big players. As they did in that SN game, we saw that, Murphy came into that game, I believe, with no picks and walked out of there with, I believe, 2 or 3 that game. And, they got to do the same thing here. I mean, Holiday only has 1 on the year. You expect him to get a little turnover hungry and try to force some fumbles from Hart or Moore. And then, the DB's got to make some plays out there. There's Viejo, big run, and a big stop there. I believe that's Mackey. Yes, the safety coming down and making a big play for a 4-yard loss. There it is again. I mean, only a 3-yard run, but that's a huge play. Now they force a 3rd and long, where you obviously are going to expect a pass here from Viejo. And we just got to see if this secondary can really put on right now. Good catch. And he's tackled behind the sticks, so that's perfect. 4th and 2. What a play there by Cinco Moore. And now we're going to see another punt. We're going to see this Ramona offense get back to work. Obviously, only getting 3 points is not what you expect on your first drive, but it's better than, it's better than nothing. So you got to take what they give you. And there's a punt there to the 27, not the greatest punt. And let's see. Bo, I believe, leads the entire league with his 93 carries at the moment. But you got to see a little bit more from that. Hopefully, he can get to that 1,000-yard mark by the end of the season. He gets 1 yard there. Not exactly ideal, but he's got to get a little bit better blocking there. There's Jones. I think we're going to probably see an audible. Okay, you see something here. Drops back, sees, and who it is, Keon Davis, only for, I believe, another 1-yard catch. That's not going to get it done. 3rd and 8. Here we go.
We're going to head to the second quarter before we begin.
And I believe that's big. Williams, obviously, blazing speed. He's truly been special for drones and been one of his top targets, especially when it comes to throwing deep. Just being able to blow the top off of a defense and things like that. That's what you need. It's truly interesting to see, and I think he's going to be very integral to seeing how far this team can go. As we saw the Cedar Creek game, very unfortunate drops for him. Had a touchdown right in his hands that he just couldn't pull in, and interesting throw there. Nothing there for drones, and it's going to be 4th and 8, which is going to be a punt back to Viejo, and they've got to get started. Obviously, it's still early in the game, but you kind of want to see them kick off earlier, especially when you get deeper into these playoff runs and things like that. Your defense can only hold an offense for so long before your offense has to put up more than just 3 points in a game. And Von English for Mission Viejo is also up there with his 38 receptions on the year. Big stop there from the defense. 2nd and 12. Geo Love, who has 3 sacks. Oh no, Geo Love, I believe, 3 sacks on the year.
Yeah, he has 3 sacks. That one will go down for a TFL there. And like we said before, this defensive line has been critical in this defense's success, stopping the run game and forcing these passes on 3rd and long, 2nd and long, and allowing these DBs to really eat. And that's why they had their 5 picks this season. If you go back and watch, there's nothing open downfield because the quarterback knows he has to get the ball out quick.
Yep, that's a really good point there. Obviously, you can't give up things like that where they get a big conversion there. But things happen on defense. Gotta talk it out, gotta work it out. But yeah, just going back to Love. I mean, I believe the kid is 6'9", 380. I mean, it's huge for a D lineman, and he truly makes every bit of his force felt on that offensive line.
Yeah, he may not be the guy who has all the sacks and the most TFLs, but you can bet he has to be double teamed almost every snap, allowing these other guys to break through the line and back up their sacks.
Play action, and he is going to get the first. Big play by Holiday. Finding this guy again, it's Chester. Holiday drops back, looking. It's going to be a catch. Right there, 2nd and inches. Obviously, we've seen big talks. These corners got to step up. They got Ruckus out there. They got Trapper, who leads the team in interceptions. And then they've also got Dukes, who's been And we are back. I am so deeply sorry for what just happened. A little bit of a malfunction there on our part. you never truly understand what's going on. It's football. So we're gonna get back to it. Obviously, second and inches, and like I was saying, the corner room trappers, Ruckus, Dukes. They've got great corners. They got guys that got the speed, the athleticism, the guys that can really cover and make plays. But you kind of expect. I wouldn't say a little bit more, but you kind of want them to go out there and go get some picks. Obviously, they have the safeties up there with Michkov and Mackey, who have been great players as well. And we get a flag on the play. Good stop there by Dukes. Pass interference on the defense. Who's it going on? Matvey Michkov. Matvey Michkov? Hey, he had his first sack, I believe. Was that 2 games ago?
Yeah.
Our first and goal for Holiday. Big stop there by Moore. What a hit. Looks similar to the hit they had against Cedar Creek where he forced a fumble. But nonetheless, great hit there. And now we have second and goal at the 3-yard line for Mission Viejo. Run up the middle. And the defense comes up huge to make a stop. Still a 2-yard gain, but a huge stop on Gray. And if you're a Ramona, you just hope you only get 3 out of this. Obviously, this may be 4th down territory for Mission Viejo, but a stop here does numbers for this team. And they do not get it, unfortunate. So, that is going to be a Mission Viejo touchdown by LaMichael Gray. It is a 6-3 game pending the field goal. And, yeah, so Ramona offense hopefully wakes up, seeing that, it's time to go out there and play ball. What do you think? Yeah, I think he couldn't have said it better. Here's Keon Davis on the return. And that's another thing. I mean, being a third-string receiver, he still gets a chance to go out there and make plays on the punt and kick return, as he does very occasionally. And that's a big play. So, yeah, I believe you're correct. I honestly, when we first started seeing this team earlier in the season, we saw them go to the tight end, Devin Currant a lot. And it's starting to dwindle recently as the weeks have gone by, as he gets a swing out pass to Bo there for negative yards. It's going to be 2nd and 12. But yeah, you kind of got to hope, you got to start feeding the big guy in the middle a little bit more, give him some curl routes, get him the ball, as he's lined up wide here on the left side of your screen. Here's a run over to Bo, though. Bo tries to get a stiff arm, but he does pick up a couple great yards there, and it is 3rd and 5 at the 29-yard line. Their 29-yard line for Ramona. Big passing down, and I mean, they had cramp, but there goes Williams, the guy you just said, hey, got to get him active. There it is. Absolutely, and we've kind of seen, here they are with the run-heavy set, and there goes the run to Bo. Bo gets a big stiff arm, and he fumbles, but I believe it is picked up by Cook, the old lineman. Scary, scary play there. But yeah, as I was saying, they don't really go to the three set wide receivers as much. They went to it a lot. Now they're going more play action. There goes a big play to Williams again. He now has 3 catches for 35, and they are at the 39-yard line, truly moving the ball. And maybe they've woken up. They've woken up, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I think anytime that ball hits.
Absolutely. I believe it's kind of funny that both of these teams tale of 3 points. A tale of 3 points. Ramona obviously winning by 3. Viejo losing by 3. And it's just things like that where Ramona, you kind of expect more from them, especially playing. Obviously, the Owasso Rams are a great team, but you gotta expect a little bit more from the guys there. Pulling out a win is a win, but 3 points isn't gonna cut it, especially when you play deeper and better teams. And there goes the screen out to Williams. What a good play! Oh, no, sorry, that's Bo there on the screen. Good play there. Gets to the 23-yard line, and hopefully we can see a score here. As we see the clock dwindle down, will they take it to the 2-minute, or will they continue to run plays? Nope, they take it to the 2-minute. So, the 2-minute warning, we're about to reach halftime, and we have a 3-7 game. Obviously, Ramona wants to continue going with their one-game win streak after beating the Owasso Rams. Drones has nothing, throws it away, 2nd and 10. Minute and 54 on the clock. They do pretty well in these situations, usually come out, at least they have 3 on the board, but you gotta expect that they want 7. Especially going into halftime, you come back with the ball, and that's a big throw to Kimmel, I believe that was, and that's a 6-yard throw and catch, 3rd and 4 for the Rams. And here we go. Like I said, put your receivers out there, let them make some plays, and let's see what they can do. There it is to Ryan Williams at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal for the Rams. Maybe we'll see some touches to Bo. What do you think they do here on the 1st and goal?
They've got the timeouts. Bo's They should run a little bit of clock here. They have the time to milk this clock down and likely score a touchdown.
Absolutely. And we'll see if the Mission Viejo has a goal line stand in them. And they do not. Bo, Mr. Anton Bo, the second, gets in for 6. And the Rams now are up 9-7. Can they make the field goal is the question. Obviously, they've made, I believe, every single one they've had a chance at trying so far, so I don't see why it wouldn't. But you never know. I don't want to jinx it. Bringing in Bo, like we said, bringing in Bo, you want to give someone, to your QB that can make a play, and especially with a freshman QB, you don't want to be truly pass heavy, but having Bo and someone that can not only contribute in the run game, but also the pass game was a huge pickup by them, bringing him into their system, and hopefully they continue to let him grow and develop into a player that can go off to college and make a successful career for himself out there for his next 4 years. Play by Holiday, 2nd inches with 20 seconds to go on the clock. They take a timeout, 107 yards from Holiday, by the way. He's continuing to just light it up. Here we go, another throw, a little bit underthrown, but nonetheless. It's caught by number 3, 16 seconds to go on the clock at the 43-yard line. Probably going to see something a little bit deeper. I expect the corners to be a little bit more active here. A breakup would be nice, and no, they still go underneath. Interesting play call there. So now it's end zone or nothing. I mean, unless they can get a quick out route, which I'm expecting the Rams to be prepared to stop, but you never know. You never know. Motion, tight end. Holiday throws deep, and it's out of bounds. 8 seconds to go on the clock, 3rd and 2. Let's see what Viejo has in them. Drops back, looks, throws it away again, and now, I mean, do they go for it? I mean, you got 4 seconds on the clock. Obviously, you don't really want to punt it away. Keon Davis is pretty deadly on returns. Oh, no, they stay out. So
yeah, this makes sense to me.
It looks like they are going to, interestingly enough. Didn't expect that. Did not expect them to do that. Drone's looking. He's going to throw deep. End zone. It gets there, and it looks like it's going to be a penalty.
This might be defensive pass.
That's interference. Defense.
Their free three-point chip shot.
And it looks like they take the chip shot. What a smart play there by Drones. I mean, once again, as we said, the arm strength is there. He can throw the ball. It's just a matter of, are the receivers going to come down with it? And obviously they didn't, but they drew a penalty, so that's a great play by them. And interesting play call. That's very aggressive by them. As we're going to go to halftime. Absolutely, and coming out of halftime, what do you kind of expect for Ramona, offensively and defensively? What do you think they need to do to truly clutch up this win and get on to a 5-1 start to the season? Devin Grant.
Defensive end.
Bo, you can't go out of bounds there. Tough play. 3rd and 2 though. As I said, yeah, look, Devin Grant, big play. Look, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet. Like, he's not the average tight end. He has the bit of a slender build, skinnier for a tight end. And the speed truly shows. He's a matchup nightmare wherever you put him out there on the field. I've just seen him line up wide. We've seen him line up in the right against the tackles. No matter where he's at, he's made a play. And that's the biggest thing, I think. He's been truly impactful and one of Drone's favorite targets. Obviously, he's went away from him a little bit as of late, but you know, I'm expecting to see Drones look for him more as they get more deeper into the game. Big play by Bo. 3-yard gain on the little swing pass. They are chewing clock here, but still passing the ball, which kind of does intrigue me at times. There goes Bo. Big run. And that's 11 rushes. Do you think this is a game you expect from Bo? For 7 yards, I believe that was 6 yards, as they just had a big play before that, the 1-yard gain from Bo before that. But yeah, I think Bo can continue a trend. Ramona did have a really great running back in Saltwater, who I believe has gone on to UCLA to continue his 4 years of success. They wish him nothing but the best. But yeah, filling those shoes is the same thing with Drones as well. I mean, anybody on this Ramona team, great punt there as they get at the 3-yard line, and any Ramona player obviously having to come in and fill the shoes of teams that were literally just the first seed. I think they've done a great job of not only blocking out the noise and the expectations, but coming in and just becoming their own team with their own culture and just showing up and being the team they are. Absolutely, and Cedar Creek did take a lot of Ramona's players. Obviously, the big one being Santora, who was their former QB turned running back. And you know, that's a game that you expect in the playoffs might get a little chippy later on down in the season if they see each other. Definitely, I believe the rivalry is still there. And I think this, like you said, this Ramona team has new blood. another big stop there, 2nd and 13 for Trappers. And yeah, they have new blood, and they're ready to just go out there and just win games. And I think that's the biggest thing. Their culture is, you know, forget what the naysayers say, forget what they say. We're going to go out there, we're going to come play ball, and, you know, we're going to shock the world. And that's what they've been doing. And there goes the stop there. I believe that's their leading tackler, Wika, out there in the middle linebacker spot. Big play there. 3rd and 3 for Holiday and his team. Can he get them down the field? Throw there, he does. 5. Who is number 5? So, I mean, it hasn't been a great game. You know, you kind of expect them to take the underneath. But I'd rather them take the underneath than over the top, as we've seen recently. And I think that's the one thing. I know we talked about Michkov earlier, but not to blame Mackey, but we've seen some lapses on defense, especially late in games. The SM game, I believe the first game of the season that they played, they let up a big throw that they had no business giving up. And you know, things like that. Like, you can't have those late game lapses. So, what is your best advice for this team to just stay locked in no matter the score, no matter what's going on?
Yeah, I mean,
And yeah, I think you said it perfectly. It's just the lapses as we get a big throw from Holiday, 9-yard play there to Chester. Chester's been all over the field today, left side, right side, middle. It doesn't matter. He's been automatic on catching today, and he's been impactful for this team. Holiday, the fake play action, back to Chester, but it's a stop there. Was that Dukes over there on the left side? I don't believe so. It might have been Ruckus. I'm not 100% sure. They like to switch sides a little bit on that, so sometimes it's hard to tell who's even out there. There's Ruckus again. Big stop. He had a huge pick. Unfortunately, lost some steam there at the end of that pick against SM. But a huge play that kicked off the entire game to get Murphy his first pick, I believe, and walking in there and making a play like that as a freshman is huge, especially in a game where you know your team wants to win and you know it's a huge game for their season.
yeah, especially when you know the expectation. You know that you're versing a very good team, and to see a freshman come out and make a big play and get a 95-yard return on an interception, it really sparks that momentum for your team. And I mean, that led to 7 points, and that was the big thing that game. The turnover that the defense generated, the offense capitalized on, and that's always a big thing in football games. Getting the turnovers is one thing, but getting the points off those turnovers is another. And so when you see and get that confidence in your freshman, and it rattles a quarterback.
Absolutely.
But when you see a freshman come up and make a play like that, and they're only a freshman, it might rattle you a little bit, and that really gained the momentum. And
they ran with it.
Never looked back that game.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better. Big play there by Trappers with the pass breakup. There's a hit. Number 88 is going to get down to the 1. 1st and goal for Mission Viejo. And you got to think, the defense has shown up. I don't truly blame them, but you can't let up plays like that in the middle. Like, come on.
Yeah, especially as you're approaching the red zone, you got to be better. Michkov has to make that tackle. He's going for the big star play. He's trying to knock that ball out instead of just wrapping up here, and ends up just bouncing right off and almost giving up a touchdown because of it. And now all that's left is 1 yard. This should be an easy inside dive for a touchdown here.
Yeah, you hope this defense can make a goal line stand, but obviously, you know, it's tough. 1 yard line, they take the little toss out to Gray, and they get a stop. 2 yard tackle for loss for Moore.
Interesting play call there. Their running back is good enough to just punch it up the middle here. The toss, I don't really understand, especially against this defense where the linebacker has been so good. It's kind of hard to visualize.
Yeah, I think that's another big story for Moore, I believe. Moore coming in, I believe, in the second week or third week, being an impact player already, as we've seen in there goes Graham scores. And yeah, they won the trench battle. It took them 3 tries, but they do. And LaMichael Gray hits his second touchdown of the day for Mission Viejo. And they are only a field goal away from taking this lead. And now, this Ramona offense has to take a play, has to make a play. Do you think they have it in them?
I do.
Absolutely. I just hope the lights don't get too bright. As we saw with the Cedar Creek game, I think they kind of got a little too, overjoyed with the deep ball, and that's one of the reasons why we saw Drones throw, I believe, 2 picks that game. And even in the first game of the season, trying to throw deep, you throw a pick in the end zone for absolutely no reason. And you got to hope that he doesn't get too, like I said, too happy with that deep ball and just plays fundamental football, plays smart, throw the ball away if it's not there, do not risk it. Obviously, this team doesn't have a crazy good jump ball receiver. So, yeah, no, take your chances, live the fight of the day, and let's bring this team down the field. Big 7-yard play there by Williams.
Yeah,
Absolutely, Spo there gets the first down. And yeah, still running shoot clock. I guess they do not want Holiday to really have a big chance of getting this ball again. There goes Currant with a 2-yard play. And we'll see what they have here on 2nd and 8. Obviously playing off of Williams is the smartest thing to do there. There goes Currant again. Like I said, you got to feed him in the middle. When he's in the middle, he has sure hands. Nobody really can mess with him. They try to tackle him. It's hard to bring him down, as you saw. And like I said, he's very lengthy. He can get across. And as he got picked up a couple extra yards there, it's 3rd and inches. Over to Bo. Bo gets stopped at 4th and 1. And I think you have to punt here. Huge play in this game is obviously Mission Viejo obviously has points if they get this ball, but it's a big play to Keon Davis, and he's going to get the first down, and Ramona has life.
like we said earlier.
That's the biggest talk.
That's been a problem for him this season. He had one against Cedar Creek, a deep ball for a touchdown that just slips out of his hands. He drops that one.
Yeah, and I think that was the perfect play call, but you got to expect your player to step up. Like you said, he's a playmaker. Playmakers got to make plays, and that's when you got to have. 4-yard run there by Bo. Obviously, you can still take 3 here, but I don't think if you're Ramona, you're comfortable with a 2-point lead going against someone like Holiday. As Bo gets stopped for a 4-yard loss after a 4-yard gain. Thompson, Bo's upset. It's 4th and 10, and it looks like we're going to see a punt. Like you said, terrible punt. Only getting to the 33-yard line is not going to cut it at all. Little bit of a interesting play call with the run. And, wow, Holiday already getting started to Chester. And this defense has got to wake up right now, because there is no bigger time for us to see a Ramona turnover like now. And I expect to see a big play from Mr. 26, Carter Hart, who you see on the right side. Oh, screen pass. He's open. What a tackle there by Mackey. 2nd and 1.
This clock is just melting away on Ramona here. Especially if this first down is gotten. This is going to bring
Another big play. You gotta think, Mona, if they lose this game, you gotta think the woes on offense are the main problem. It happened 2 weeks ago. It's happening again today. And you gotta think you cannot have so many opportunities that you squander, because teams like this will come back and beat you. And it's showing right now as Aiden Holiday is cooking up another amazing drive. Ninjas, I think this is one of the biggest plays of the game. You expect your D-line to step up. And what a play! Amazing play there by 37, who makes us stop. It's 4th and inches. Does Mission Viejo get greedy? No, they do not. They kick it. And now, Kyron Jones, who you know loves a good second chance, does he capitalize on it, or will he fall? Absolutely. And I think you've obviously you've gotta make sure someone makes a play here. Bo, obviously, like we're seeing on the replay, did not get a good push from his O-line. Thompson just gets right over Corrant and makes a big stop there on 3rd and 6. And now you got to think Bo's gonna want the ball, but the question is, can you even give it to him with this little amount of time? As they scramble it back up and Bo goes back into the backfield. Absolutely, and I think they had the play there. They had Williams there on the one-on-one. They instead opt to go bunch. And there it is again to Corrant. Unfortunately, he drops it. And like you said, this is going to come down to the wire. The nerves are probably going to get to him. It's a first game for a young QB. Not the first game, but a first, game where you got to come out there and make a big play. And there he goes to Bo. No timeout taken. Minute and 26 on the clock. He goes deep. Tried to fit it to the seam. More than likely, and that's the throws you kind of see him make, especially the SM game. He made big plays down the seam, down the middle, seeing the guys, and I don't understand why you hurry to the ball when you have a minute 16 and then call a timeout. But maybe coach sees something we don't. That's an interesting play call. We'll see what we get here from Ramona. They go empty backfield. Obviously, this is going to be 4th down territory. Drones looks, throws, and almost picked. Oh, they go to Bo. Bo gets a broken tackle, but he gets stopped about a yard short.
Taking some knees, and this is a rough loss for Ramona's record here. After a spectacular start to the regular season, to then lose to Mission Viejo it's a rough loss to take.
And you got to think, this team is 1-4, and you let them come out here and truly control the game for the most part. I mean, I didn't see much of a fight from the defense. I truly think the offense stalled, and I think now it's time to go back to the drawing board and think, well, what can we do better? Obviously, the drops are an issue. But you gotta expect that Ramona's gonna come back next week and want to get a win. But the best thing about it is they do get a chance to play this team again. This is a divisional rival. And they will get another chance to play them at home in the Ram Stadium. And hopefully we get a better outcome than this, as we can't do anything but sing our praises to Aiden Holiday, who had a great game today.
And
Absolutely. And like I said before, it's disheartening to see this. I guess we'll go back and look at some of the stats today, but disheartening game for this team, and truly disappointing when you think about all the momentum and all the hype for this game, especially considering how how much talent they had compared to this team. But you know, in football, anybody can be anybody, as we saw here today. I mean, Holiday clearly did perform a little bit better than Drones, but both of them no touchdowns. So, the defense got to be better. Obviously, this is the fifth rushing defense in the league. Lets up the fifth least rushing yards, and you come out here and you let the guy score two rushing touchdowns on you. I mean, he doesn't have many yards, but it's just got to be better. It's got to be better from the team. Bo, very decent game. The fumble was scary.
yeah, and I mean, going back to that point of the rushing, it's a microcosm of the issues in the passing game. The passing game was allowing them to drive down the field, and as you can see, 2.1 yards a carry is not the greatest. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're letting them dice you up down the field, and then he just gets 3-4 attempts from the 1 yard line. And the defense has to be better in the passing game.
I think we also have to keep in mind is, as much as we talked them up today, Carter Hart looked like a ghost out there today. He didn't look like he wanted to play. He didn't look like he made any plays. I don't know if it's because Mission Viejo kind of knew that was the plan coming in or what, but I mean, this is not the game you kind of expect. Our only sack comes from Dello, who is an interesting guy because, obviously he hasn't really had any, but unfortunately that's the way the game goes. Until next time, Ramona fans, we are out.